In the bustling streets of Wuhan or Shanghai, as neon lights begin to flicker, a harsh scene unfolds. Young women, once office workers with dreams of stability, now stand behind makeshift roadside stalls. Unemployment, like an economic storm, has swept away their jobs. With no income and unable to afford rent, they are forced onto the streets, where crates of oranges, watermelons, or sizzling woks of fried rice become their only lifeline. Under scorching heat or biting cold, they work 12 to 14 hours a day, sweat soaking their clothes, hands calloused from hauling and cooking.
A young woman, once a literature teacher at a high school, now stands at a street corner squeezing oranges. She's impeccably made up, dressed in eye-catching outfits, not just to sell juice but to film live streams on Douyin, hoping to attract male customers, who make up 90% of her clientele, according to posts on X. Her radiant smile masks utter exhaustion. Her sparkling eyes on screen conceal nights of only 2 to 3 hours of sleep. She shares, "I teach during the day, then sell here until 3 a.m. I get home by 5 a.m. and am up again at 7 a.m. to teach." Her life is an endless cycle, preparing ingredients, facing harassment from customers, and enduring harsh online comments. One of her videos was mocked. "So pretty, yet selling fried rice, what a waste of a life." Suffering is not just physical. These girls face social pressure and moral degradation in how they are forced to earn a living. To stand out among hundreds of stalls, many choose to wear short skirts and pose seductively for cameras, turning their stalls into performance stages. A South China Morning Post report, March 2025, noted that 30% of female vendors in Beijing have faced inappropriate comments or behavior from male customers, yet they endure to retain business. A viral Weibo comment stated, "Just sell your goods, why rely on beauty? Society now only cares about looks." Many argue that using beauty as bait not only distorts the value of labor, but also reinforces gender stereotypes, causing women to be judged by appearance rather than effort. Suffering is not just physical. These girls face social pressure and moral degradation in how they are forced to earn a living. To stand out among hundreds of stalls, many choose to wear short skirts and pose seductively for cameras, turning their stalls into performance stages. A South China Morning Post report, March 2025, noted that 30% of female vendors in Beijing have faced inappropriate comments or behavior from male customers, yet they endure to retain business. A viral Weibo comment stated, "Just sell your goods, why rely on beauty? Society now only cares about looks." Many argue that using beauty as bait not only distorts the value of labor, but also reinforces gender stereotypes, causing women to be judged by appearance rather than effort.
Beauty, survival, and moral decline on China's streets. In the bustling streets of China, the image of young, beautiful women standing behind roadside stalls has become a familiar sight. Among them, a young woman with a radiant smile sets up her juice stall, unloading 100 kilograms of fresh oranges and 20 kilograms of juicy watermelons, ready to entice customers. As the summer sun blazes, she applies sunscreen, protecting her skin, while seizing the opportunity to promote skincare products. A few meters away, another woman swiftly squeezes lemons, preparing refreshing drinks. But it's not just their goods that catch the eye, it's their stunning appearance. With meticulous makeup and eye-checking outfits, these women seem to sell not only juice or cosmetics, but also their own image. A poetic voiceover drifts from a speaker, like a soliloquy. Who among us isn't weary? Who escapes suffering? We can only rely on ourselves. On social media platforms like Douyin and Weibo, videos of these women attract millions of views, yet they also ignite debates about the moral decline in modern society. The explosion of street vending in China, particularly amid the economic downturn of 2025, has thrust many young women, once employed in tech, fashion, or retail, into a harsh struggle for survival. According to the China Labor Bulletin, urban youth unemployment reached 21% in early 2025, with young women disproportionately impacted by layoffs in service industries. Jobless and unable to afford rent, many have turned to the streets as a new beginning. What stands out is how they leverage their appearance to attract customers, particularly men. Posts on X highlight that 90% of customers at stalls run by young women are male, reflecting a consumption trend driven by aesthetics. These women don't just sell goods, they live stream, don glamorous makeup, pose for cameras, and transform their stalls into stages. Some even use props like fake grills to film videos, proving their primary goal isn't vending, but building an influencer persona, earning income from views and advertisements. This trend, while demonstrating adaptability and creativity, raises concerns about moral decay. A Weibo comment garnering thousands of likes reads, "Sell your goods honestly. Why dress provocatively and rely on beauty to lure customers? Society now only values appearances." Some argue that young women using their looks as bait distorts professional values and reinforces gender stereotypes, reducing women to their appearance rather than their skills. Moreover, these glamorous videos often mask a harsh reality. Many women work 12 to 14 hours a day, facing extreme weather and harassment from customers. A March 2025 South China Morning Post report revealed that 30% of female street vendors in Beijing experienced inappropriate comments or behavior from male customers, but felt compelled to remain silent to retain business. Netizens remain divided. Some praise the women's resilience, turning hardship into opportunity. Others believe they are selling their dignity for views. Right or wrong, this phenomenon reflects a changing society where the boundaries between survival, performance, and morality blur. As the economic downturn pushes young people to the streets, these roadside stalls are not just places to earn a living, but mirrors reflecting values under strain. In the heart of a bustling Chinese city, a young woman with a radiant smile sets up her juice stall, unloading 100 kilograms of vibrant oranges and 20 kilograms of juicy watermelons. As the midday sun intensifies, she pauses to apply sunscreen, shielding her skin from the harsh rays. Seizing the moment, she begins showcasing skincare products, blending her juice business with beauty sales. Nearby, another vendor, equally charismatic, deftly squeezes fresh lemons, crafting tangy drinks for passers-by. A soulful voiceover drifts through the air, musing, "Who among us isn't weary? Who escapes hardship? Our strength lies in ourselves alone." Online, viewers are captivated, speculating if street vending has morphed into a cutthroat arena. One curious commenter queries a vlogger, "I'm thinking of selling bubble tea. How do you manage water for cleaning cups after each sale?" Another chimes in, "They may look like vendors, but they're really influencers, earning their keep through live streams." A poignant saying has taken root across China: "We're all scraping by, running our little stalls." This phrase resonates on platforms like Weibo and Douyin, echoing through crowded urban streets. It captures the zeitgeist of a nation grappling with economic turbulence, particularly as the EU-China trade war grinds on. According to a 2025 report by the China Economic Review, the street vending sector has exploded, not just in major hubs like Shanghai or Beijing, but in smaller cities like Zhengzhou and Chengdu. Analysts attribute this to Chinese firms struggling to absorb tariff costs, leading to widespread factory closures. In late 2024, the U.S. revoked a tariff exemption for small packages, a move that, if sustained, could shutter thousands more factories by mid-2025. Economists estimate this could displace up to 10 million workers, many of whom may turn to street vending as a lifeline. Young Chinese, sleeping at McDonald's in public spaces, escaping pressure, or a temporary refuge. In the early months of 2025, in bustling cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Hong Kong, a striking phenomenon has captured attention. Many young people are choosing to sleep overnight at 24-hour McDonald's outlets, airports, train stations, or public parks. They are not homeless, nor are they necessarily penniless, but they are fleeing societal pressures, familial scrutiny, and the stigmatizing label of unemployed that weighs heavily on their minds. The image of young people slumped over McDonald's tables, luggage strewn about, or spreading mats on airport floors is not only a symbol of a generation grappling with an economic crisis, but also a silent protest against unrealistic expectations. At a McDonald's in Hong Kong's Mong Kok district during a night of the May Day holiday in 2025, around 50 young people were reported sleeping there. Some were slumped over tables, heads resting on backpacks. Others had taken off their shoes, propped their feet on chairs, with luggage scattered across the floor. The scene made it hard to distinguish whether this was a fast food restaurant or a makeshift shelter. Overwhelmed staff did not intervene, while diners struggled to find seats. Similarly, at Hong Kong's airport, a female blogger on Xiaohongshu posted a guide titled "Surviving a Night at the Airport," sharing tips on spreading a mat, using a backpack as a pillow, and accessing free water. She left blankets and sleeping bags on chairs for others, urging them to overcome shame. These images spread rapidly online, sparking heated debates on social media. This phenomenon is not limited to Hong Kong. In Zhengzhou, groups of young people gather at train stations at night, not to travel, but to sleep and chat. In Chengdu, public parks have become temporary refuges for those avoiding home. One young person shared on Weibo, "At home, my parents keep asking if I've found a job yet. I can't take it anymore, so I sleep outside. At McDonald's, no one judges me." These stories expose a painful reality. Young Chinese are seeking to become invisible from the prying eyes of family and society, where unemployment is not just an economic issue, but a source of personal shame. The root causes lie in a plummeting economy and stringent societal expectations. According to a 2025 China Economic Review report, youth unemployment exceeded 20%, with millions under 30 unable to find stable work. The U.S.-China trade war, particularly the U.S. revocation of tariff exemptions for small packages in late 2024, has led to the closure of thousands of factories in the Yangtze and Pearl River deltas. Economists predict that if this continues, over 10 million workers could lose their jobs by mid-2025. Industries like tech and retail, once pillars for young people, have also slashed jobs aggressively. A Douyin post read, "I studied 4 years at university, sent out hundreds of applications but only got a few interviews. I'm exhausted." Under the impact of the tariff war, Chinese factories are shutting down en masse, pushing many into hunger and destitution, with the economy teetering on collapse. During the May Day holiday of 2025, China saw a wave of business failures and protests over unpaid wages. Even Shengyi Optoelectronics in Tongxiang, a company once praised by local authorities, was shaken by a large-scale demonstration. A former employee shared that he was owed 6 months' wages. If he couldn't recover the money or find new work, he would have to return to his rural hometown to farm. These stories reflect the desperation of workers and the severity of the economic crisis, where even model companies cannot survive. In this context, societal pressure becomes suffocating. Chinese culture views unemployment as a personal failure, driving young people into self-doubt and depression. A young person in Beijing shared on Weibo, "Every day at home, my mom asks, 'How many applications did you send today? Any callbacks? I don't know how to answer, so I'd rather sleep at the train station.'" This pressure is especially intense for the post-NOS generation, who grew up during economic growth but now face a downturn. Sleeping at McDonald's or public spaces becomes a way to temporarily escape relentless questioning and preserve some dignity. This phenomenon is tied to the lying flat Tang Pung movement, a popular philosophy among Chinese youth. Lying flat is not about giving up entirely, but rejecting unrealistic societal expectations. Instead of striving for a foothold in a cutthroat job market, many young people opt for minimalism, avoiding direct confrontation with pressure. Sleeping at McDonald's or airports is an extreme manifestation of this philosophy. Rather than chasing traditional markers of success, good jobs, homes, families, they choose to disappear from the rat race. A Douyin post with thousands of likes read, "I don't want to work 996, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week to buy a house. I just want to live for now, even if it means sleeping at McDonald's." However, this is not just a temporary escape, but raises questions about sustainability and societal impact. Some sociologists warn that this is a short-term fix that doesn't address the root causes of unemployment and social pressure. A Weibo comment noted, Sleeping at McDonald's might help you avoid your parents for a night, but it won't get you a job. Eventually, you'll have to face it. Moreover, occupying public spaces has sparked controversy. In Hong Kong, residents complain that those sleeping at McDonald's disrupt business and create unsanitary conditions. A restaurant owner in Mongkok posted on social media, "Customers want to eat but can't find seats because people are sleeping on tables. This is a restaurant, not a hostel." Some label them urban parasites, arguing they exploit public spaces without contributing. According to the South China Morning Post in April 2025, complaints about public space occupation in Shanghai surged 40% year over year, largely tied to young people sleeping in restaurants and stations. On the other hand, some defend them, arguing that this phenomenon exposes a lack of infrastructure for struggling youth. A Douyin user stated, "If cities had affordable hostels or support centers for the unemployed, who would sleep at McDonald's? Don't blame them, blame the system." Indeed, Hong Kong and many Chinese cities lack affordable housing, especially as rent prices soar. In Hong Kong, hotel rates during holidays can quintuple, making them unaffordable for many young people. A China Economic Review report highlighted that high living costs, combined with unemployment, have pushed youth toward makeshift solutions like sleeping in restaurants or parks. As industries shrink, low-cost street vending has become a refuge for many. Young women, often laid off from white-collar jobs in tech or retail, are increasingly visible at these roadside stalls. Their presence is linked to a peculiar trend. Their customers are predominantly male, drawn to the roadside allure. Social media posts on X note that these vendors' clientele is almost exclusively men, sparking debates about consumer behavior. However, this path is far from easy. In Hunan province, a vendor faced a disheartening ordeal when she arrived at her permitted spot only to find it blocked by 4 garbage bins. Confronting a local official, she was dismissed, told the area was reserved for waste. Despite showing a receipt for a 300,000 yuan, roughly $42.00 USD permit fee, she was ignored. A dozen enforcement officers barricaded her stall, blocking customers. Hoping for empathy, she approached a female officer but was rebuffed as the bins were pushed closer. Furious, she posted a video online that went viral, gaining community support. That night, the official returned, demanding she delete the video or face consequences. Defiant, she refused, but began recording her commute for safety. By morning, her videos had vanished from the platform, likely censored or reported. The street vending boom has ignited significant controversy. Residents complain that stalls are flooding cities, clogging streets and sidewalks. In Guangzhou, locals grumble about stalls lining both sides of major roads, causing traffic jams. One resident vented on Weibo, "A family near my apartment parks their BMW to run a stall, blocking our complex's entrance. Their prices are higher than supermarkets." Vendors often target high-traffic areas, subway exits, busy intersections, even pedestrian crossings, disrupting rush-hour flow. At night, the air is filled with vendors' calls and the aroma of grilled skewers, but mornings reveal streets littered with debris. Citizens have dubbed them urban leeches, clinging to public spaces. According to the South China Morning Post in April 2025, vending complaints in Shanghai surged 40% year over year. Small restaurants are buckling under the pressure. A Beijing restaurateur, paying 25,000 yuan, $3.50 USD monthly rent for 2 eateries, lamented, "Vendors surround my shop, blocking customers. I pay taxes and rent. Where's the fairness?" A Douyin influencer highlighted a Nanjing food street where 9 restaurants closed in 2024, unable to compete with vendors' low overhead and eye-catching tactics like dancing or wearing colorful outfits. Food safety is another concern. Unlike restaurants, vendors face no health inspections. One Weibo user recounted paying 50 yuan, $7.00 USD, for a bowl of beef noodle soup with barely any meat, while another described a vendor handling food after petting a dog without washing hands. A 2025 China Food Safety Journal study found that 60% of street food samples in Chongqing were contaminated with bacteria, fueling public distrust. Street vendors have 4 key advantages over restaurants. First, Prime locations. They chase foot traffic, setting up near bustling spots like mall entrances or night markets, while restaurants are tied to fixed leases. In Zhongshan, a once thriving food street lies deserted as shoppers flock to air-conditioned malls with parking. Second, first-mover advantage. Like agile entrepreneurs, vendors capture customers early with quick snacks before diners reach restaurants. In a sluggish economy, these impulse buys siphon spending from eateries. Third, compelling stories. Vendors excel at personal engagement, sharing hardships like, "I'm saving for my daughter's school fees," or "My family depends on this stall." Netizens joke that every vendor has a sick parent and a kid to feed, but these narratives resonate. Fourth, attention-grabbing flair. In the era of short-form video, vendors stand out with costumes, some dress as the Monkey King, or lively dances. A viral X post showed a vendor posing theatrically, her grill merely a prop for live streams, highlighting their performative edge. The vending boom threatens to trap cities in a cycle. As restaurants close, their owners join the street trade, intensifying competition. A China Daily op-ed in March 2025 warned that this could erode urban economies, as low-midge vending overshadows taxed businesses. Residents also decry the noise, loudspeakers blaring from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., and sanitation issues, with vendors rarely cleaning up. Near schools, parents worry about unregulated food, though some argue vendors offer tastier fare than school canteens. A viral video showed students swarming a spicy noodle cart outside a Shenzhen school, prompting speculation that the vendor, a parent, prioritizes quality. Vending isn't a free-for-all. Unwritten rules govern spots, even in free zones. A novice vendor in Xi'an nearly sparked a brawl by claiming an owned spot. Veterans advise starting at the street's end and waiting for vacancies, as each stall supports a family. Conflicts with enforcement officers are rife, with some cities accused of heavy-handed tactics. Ex-Chengdu vendor, who invested 12,000 yuan, $1.70 USD in a stall, earned nothing her first night, lamenting, "I was delusional." Another tried selling skewers, earning 250 yuan, $35.00 USD on day 1, but zero by day 3, quitting in exhaustion. On X, a user shared, "I'm a single mom, terrified my office job won't cover my son's needs. Vending seems my only shot, but these stories scare me." Amid the economic gloom, a novel trend emerged during the 2025 May Day holiday: travel vending. Young people blend tourism with commerce, selling goods to fund trips. According to the Sichuan Daily in Changsha, travelers visited sites like Orange Isle by day and ran stalls by night, renting gear via Alipay's Jima platform. Students hawked sausages using exoskeleton suits, photographers offered instant portraits, and musicians played tourist-requested tunes. A 22-year-old told reporters, "Vending covers my hostel and meals." Dalian tutorials on mobile coffee carts exploded, with the hashtag #TravelVending reaching 180 million views by May 3, 2025, per Weibo Analytics. Gen Z, facing job scarcity and soaring rents, sees this as micro-entrepreneurship. Critics, however, call it a sign of desperation, warning that oversaturation could kill profits. Others question enforcement. Where can you vend without fees or officers shutting you down?
Chinese vending scene is vibrant and eccentric. A Tianjin vendor's cart, stocked with everything from dumplings to phone chargers, amazed Douyin viewers. "Need something? He's got it," one commented, joking that night markets, not stalls, are banned. In contrast, a shy Hunan vendor sold pig offal under a lone orange lamp in a dark grove, whispering heart, liver, kidneys, evoking horror movie vibes. Netizens quipped, "It's scarier than a ghost story." These anecdotes highlight a broader tension. Some see vending as a symptom of government inaction amid the trade war's fallout, with unemployment fueling fears of unrest. By tolerating vendors, authorities may be buying social stability. The debate over this phenomenon has heated up on social media. A Weibo post with over 500,000 views read, They're not lazy, they're just tired of trying with no results. If you graduated university and still can't find a job, how would you feel? Many young people express empathy, sharing stories of unemployment pressure and disillusionment with the study hard, get rich dream. However, there's also sharp criticism. Some Hong Kong residents argue that sleeping at McDonald's and street vending tarnish the city's image, calling for stricter public space regulations. On the mainland, older generations see it as irresponsibility. A Douyin user commented, "Our generation worked 12 hours a day to support families. Today's youth just sleep at McDonald's or vend. What are they thinking?" This divide reflects a generational rift. While older people view effort as the only path, young people question the point of striving in a society that offers no guaranteed rewards. Psychologically, sleeping at McDonald's and street vending are forms of passive resistance, allowing young people to temporarily escape judgment and retain a fragile sense of freedom. Yet they reflect a deeper identity crisis. Unemployment isn't just about losing income, but losing purpose. Many young people feel trapped between societal expectations and harsh realities, leading to behaviors like going invisible in public spaces or seeking livelihoods through vending. Still, they show resilience in their own way. From blogging survival tips to forming small communities in public spaces, they adapt and support each other. A young person in Shanghai shared, "We sleep at train stations, but we also talk and help each other with job applications. That's how we survive." Broadly, the phenomena of sleeping at McDonald's and the vending boom are not just about unemployment, but signal a crisis of faith in this system. In a society that once promised success through education and hard work, the collapse of that dream has left young people adrift. Sleeping at McDonald's or vending may be temporary escapes, but they raise a bigger question. If the system offers no opportunities, where will they go? And how will society respond? Experts call for labor market reforms, mental health support, and affordable housing. But until those changes come, the images of young people slumped over McDonald's tables, spreading mats in parks, or setting up roadside stalls will remain a reminder that behind every lying flat individual is a story of despair among China's younger generation today.